Hey everyone, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life, and I want to welcome you to episode 95. That's right, 95 episodes of Lengthening Live, where the patients interview the guests. And today we are doing an open mic. Guys, can you believe it? This is literally the 95th episode of this Lengthening Live thing. I think back to when we started this. We started it in July of 2021. Yeah, I think it was Dr. Robbins who was the first guest on. And it was crazy. I had this idea that I was like, I want to have this engagement where we have the patients and the surgeons and everybody else just, engaging live. And we finally did it. We're almost at the 100th episode. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, how's everybody doing? So we are back with another episode. We got Benjamin Mendoza in here, Riz, watching from Iran. Wow, really appreciate that, man. That's incredible. I know that the time zone difference is crazy over there. But yeah, guys. So something popped up on my email. It said that, I think it was like a week ago, 3 weeks ago, a week ago, was Cyborg for Life's YouTube channel birthday. So I actually started Cyborg for Life in August of 2019. And because I was getting questions asked a lot, like, about limb lengthening. I was like, I need to make a YouTube channel to kind of answer everybody's question at once. And then I started a YouTube channel, but I was too scared to go on camera and actually, do videos. Now I shot some videos for like my fitness business in the past, and I was, starting to get more outgoing or become more outgoing and stuff. But doing a YouTube video and like showing my face on camera and talking about this bizarre procedure was pretty nerve wracking. And, I was like, you know what? I just got to go ahead and do it. So I started off with my story, and then I started off with the topics that were getting asked, and then they got some traction. And then 3.5 years later, here we are, or almost 4 years later, come February. So when I actually did the first video, so it's pretty crazy, So I've been having a lot of consultations lately with patients, and they're like, your videos have like changed my life, and like I found your information so helpful. And it's like, whether it's a surgeon that they found out about, or they found a patient case that was similar to what they were going through, and they wanted to kind of get the stature lengthening surgery done or limb length discrepancy fixed. So it's really given me an appreciation for all the work that we're doing here with Cyborg for Life. And it's all thanks to all you guys. So yeah, give it up for the Cyborg for Life birthday that just happened a week ago. Another piece of news is that Rotella actually just visited last week, and we did a little bit of a filming for a segment of the limb lengthening documentary that we're working on. He came into town, so did another member that we're working with, the novelist, Dr. Quinn Schrader, who has been on the channel for some interviews that we've done. And we filmed an aspect of the documentary about the history of limb lengthening. So it went well. We did it here at my office. Rich is going to be going back to LA in the next week. Quinn already went back to Ohio. So yeah, man, thanks to those guys for helping out with that. Rich, man, the guy's doing incredible in terms of recovery. I mean, he got 8 centimeters, which is 3 inches on his femurs, and he can do almost everything. I mean, he's back to running. He's back to working out. He can jump. He can jump rope. He can dance. He told me that he can dance at like when he goes out to clubs and stuff. So yeah, so he's just over a year and a half pretty much after his surgery, and he's pretty much where he's expected to be, pretty much full recovery. So it's impressive to see that. And actually he called me today, and he said that he actually played, what's it called? Pickleball. Yeah. The thing that's really popping off in the US right now. So he did that, and I think tennis. And he says, although he was a little stiff in certain areas and felt a little bit of, I guess sore spots and some tight spots. And again, I think he hasn't gotten his nails out yet. He's still recovering. He's still under the 2-year mark, but he says he's doing fantastic, and his new legs work. So I think it's really incredible to see his story from, seeing what height he was at, everything that he was going through to where he's at now. So you guys stay tuned for the limb lengthening documentary. We're probably going to have it out next year sometime. We're working on some, big, projects to get that out in the best fashion possible. Next piece of news is the collective membership. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking about that. So not everybody was kind of all about for the consultation stuff, but they wanted the membership aspect. So we are relaunching it. So if you see this little ticker going down here, this little strip going down, it says membership.thecollective.com/home, or don't put the home part. You don't have to. I just copied that there. But yeah, you just go to that little link. I'll put it in the description. You can actually go and opt in, and I'll actually just share it on screen here so you guys can see what you have to do. There is a fee. It's not free. Is anything in America or in the world? No, but what you can do in that, you can literally get access to our membership surgeon who's in there. We're going to be having a physical therapist in there as well. You can ask them questions. We'll be doing monthly calls within that Discord. So it's really, really cool. And there'll be other patients in there as well. So I know a lot of you patients have been emailing me about that for the last couple of weeks. I've been super busy with the work project. That's wrapping up. So we finally got this out. I busted myself this weekend to get it out. So I will show that real quick. Let me share screen. Hold on. So how's everybody doing? We're gonna get to the live Q&A just a second. Let me just pull this up so that you guys know what to do, what steps to take. In fact, I'll just show you from the website itself. All righty. Can you believe it? Summer's almost over. I felt like I didn't even have a summer. I went to the beach for one day and that was it. I just have too much stuff going on. All right, so here we are. We're gonna answer some questions in a second. So share my screen. I need to share this. All right, guys, so this is the collective website. Really cool. Yeah, really nice design. But what you're going to do, you're going to go to services, go to patient overwatch. And this is what you're going to click on, learn more. Basically, I revamped this to put join now instead of apply now. So there's no more applying. You're actually going to be able to join. So you just click this. And you can watch this cool little video I put together. But this is the membership fees over here. Basically, you can get 1 year access to the collective membership, which will cover your entire lengthening journey from surgery all the way to probably removal for $497. So yeah, $500. You get everything. You can ask the surgeon any questions you have within the membership. You can talk to me. I'll be in there pretty much every single day. I'm setting aside time specifically for that. You can ask other patients questions. Will I be in the free one too? Yes, I'll be in there as well. So you'll get full access to me, but I'm going to be answering all of you paid members questions. It's going to take priority. Then they have a 6-month option, 3-month option, a 1-month option. I know some people just want like they're in a certain part of their lengthening, they have some complication going on, or they have some question about their x-ray. That's when you can go ahead and get those different options. And we also have a monthly option. So if you just want to kind of stay on retainer and cancel when you want, just go ahead and do that. So that's what you're going to do. Just make sure you click the box you want, because I set up the software stuff, but I don't know how to like kind of just do it. So it's only one box, but make sure you just click one box that you want. Unless you want to buy more, hey, I'm not going to complain. So go ahead and do that. I couldn't get the PayPal set up. I'll figure that out, but right now it's connected with Stripe and then Google Pay. So I'll try to get the PayPal set up for you people internationally that don't trust us Americans. So, so you go ahead and do that if you want. If you're interested, I'll send it to you guys who emailed me about it. And what'll happen is you'll get an email that confirms your purchase, and then I will follow up once I just kind of check all that and give you a role to the Discord where you can talk to the surgeon and ask him questions. And he's going to be in there pretty much as of next week. So we're going to be starting this pretty much right after Labor Day. So yep, that is the new relaunch of the collective membership. So we're just doing that aspect. If you want consultations as well, you can always go back to here. And if you want to customize your plan, you can go down to surgeon support. You can get a consultation with just a surgeon where he can kind of talk about, your x-rays, symptoms you're having, anything that you have questions about your lengthening process, a physical therapist, virtual consultation, or the nutritionist as well. So this is if you want just like consultations. So, but if you want to just have like everything in one flat fee, that's what you do. Okay, cool. We're done with that. Back to the live Q&A. So let's go ahead and answer some questions and see what's on you guys' minds. All right, Ben. Hey, Vic, you got 5 episodes left before you make it to the 100th episode. That's what I was saying at the beginning, Ben. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I just can't believe it. It's crazy, man. 100 episodes of Lengthening Live. Hey, everybody, this is Victor from Cyber. Like, we've been doing that for 100 episodes. It's crazy, I can't believe it. I don't think I've ever been so consistent for something in my life besides working out and maybe showing up to school. Probably skip more school than I had done Lengthening Lives. But anyway, yeah, so Batman begins. Hey, Vic, I sent you emails about a proposed partnership. Did you receive the email? Yeah, look, I've gotten, so I was working on that work project. I have the emails. I'm going to go through all of them. I did see that logo. So I think that I've seen your email in there. I'll go through that for sure. I'm open to all kinds of partnerships and stuff. So definitely I'll check it out. Ben, what's your plans when you hit the 100th episode? I don't know. I think we're having some special guests, right? That's in 5 weeks if we stay on a weekly basis here and I don't skip another week. That's crazy. So I'll have to have a big interview or something like that. We'll do something special, maybe a giveaway. I don't know. We'll do something. Bob, Chicago time. Chicago time. I don't even know what that means. Is that's where you are? You're in Chicago. Is that where you are, Bob? I can't remember. I don't know. I've been so tired lately, guys. I've been sitting down like after my workouts and just like dozing off. I need to catch a nap to kind of get rid of all this lingering exhaustion. RZZ. I can't go to Europe or US country to do my limb lengthening surgery. I had an appointment with Dr. Nader in Iran International Limb Lengthening. Going to do my so I am not familiar with that clinic in Iran. I haven't. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I can't make any recommendations because I don't know his clinic. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with him as a surgeon. I'm sure like, orthopedics, typical, like fixing broken legs and doing some deformity correction, maybe. But in terms of limb lengthening and watching out for complications, and not too familiar. So I'm not going to be able to give you any advice there, my friend. Bob, who is the handsome man on your site to the right? On my site to the right. On my you mean which site? Cyborg for Life site? Let me see. Because I actually just transferred that website to a new platform as well. Oh, yeah. That's me, Bob. That's right. Always looking good. That's right. Yeah, yeah. I know. All right. Jacob Riley. What's up, Jacob? How are you doing? Growth progress consolidation is linear. First month of consolidation has little progress. Hoping for better second month. Absolutely, I think there's phases to it. There is phases to bone consolidation for fact. I just don't know. You have to look at your X-ray and stuff, but like, yeah, there is, and I think it's going to it compounds, right? Like the faster the bone kind of like consolidates on itself, you start to see it kind of laying down new tissue. But obviously, you have to be in a slight surplus, so you need to make sure your nutrition and your calorie intake is sufficient enough to help out with that regeneration. But yeah, man, absolutely. So I think so. I think second month will be better for a fact. Well, you just stopped lengthening, I think, recently. So yeah, you'll usually see some good gains. I have family on my mom's side who are from Chicago. Oh, okay, cool. Billy Bob Joe. I don't know why that name makes me laugh, but that's pretty funny. Vic, are you trying to get to 5'11" eventually with the new nails? That is a fantastic question. So somebody asked me that on one of my consultations, and he was my same height, and actually he was a little shorter than me, and he's like, yeah. And it made me really think. It's like once I'm done bodybuilding, and I was in the gym actually thinking about this today, doing some squats, and I'm like, man, I start to, if I get stature lengthening and I get to 5'11", that's 6 centimeters. It's conservative. I should be perfectly fine. How will my training be impacted? Because when Rich came here, right, like last Thursday, that's why I couldn't do last Thursday. We did last Wednesday. We did some tests in my little fitness studio back here that we have for the physical therapy and stuff. And he was doing squats, and my biomechanics video like holds true here because like when he was squatting with his feet like hip width apart, his torso leaned forward to compensate for the longer femur levers, right, or the moment arms. So by taking a wider stance, he was able to kind of sink down into depth and still, keeping more upright posture. I think he's still working on range of motion, but if you look at any femur patient, the longer your femurs are without lengthening your tibias, it's going to affect your squats. It's a fact. You're changing your biomechanics. So if this is an issue for you, you need to remain conservative on the amount of length that you get. You need to kind of play trade-off with how much height you get versus what it's going to do to your lifting. If you're just doing the femurs. Now, if you're doing like Brett, we've had on the channel before, he's a quadrilateral lengthening patient, and other quadrilateral lengthening patients we've had on, you're going to be perfectly fine because you're shifting the tibias and the femurs. Now, that being said, there's still that your torso is not getting longer. So that does affect, certain different stressors there, but it's not as impactful as if you just lengthen your femurs. That's the most impactful. So even if you just did your tibias, it's less impactful because that's a vertical bone when you're squatting from the fulcrum being your knee, right? So I think would I get it done with the new nails? I don't know. I really don't know. I really would love to be 5'11". I can't. I mean, I don't have it's not something that I need. If I did, it would be for the channel. It would be like some sort of like watch my journey as I get taller or something like that. But, I have really long arms. I'd love to be 5'11". It's the height that my doctor told me, as my pediatrician told me that I should be. And I don't know. I really have to think about it. Stupid little fruit flies, I swear. But I have to completely be done with like bodybuilding, right? Because like I don't want to have to relearn biomechanics and bar path movements and different things like that because I'm at the highest level of my sport right now. And if I start to do it midway through, I'm screwed. You know, I might as well throw it out the window. So I don't know. We will see. I would love to. But yeah, I think it's like a 75% chance that I might. So, all right, let's keep going here. Any guests tonight? Andrew, feel free to join. Oh, did I not put the join link below? I am so sorry. Let me see here. I've been lapsing here. Let me go to us right now. Hold on just a second. Live. I didn't do it. I'm so bad. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to put the join link in the description and I'll post it in the comments so you guys can join. I feel so bad about that. I think I did it in the Discord. I kind of did it last minute again. I'm going to get better at that for real because I got to stop doing this last minute stuff. All right, let's see. Hold on just a sec. Nope. That's not the short key. It's this one. Okay, here it is. All right, guys. So check the description. It should be there now if you refresh the page, and then I'll put it in the chat as well, so you can kind of do that. I'll put it in the chat here, so you can come on. There we go. Should come through as me telling you that. So join, please. I'm all lonely here. Let's do this for at least 45 minutes. I didn't even do the timestamps from last week. I'm so behind on things, but I'll try to do it. I'll speed do it. Can I join? Fate, yes, absolutely. And Fate, somebody actually wants to talk to you from the Discord, so I'm trying to make the connection. So come on, Fate. Let's go. You're still up, man. You're in Germany. What are you doing? Otavio Moraes, is it worth doing limb lengthening at 184 centimeters? It's so hard for me to make that decision or judgment for you because I'm not you. But if I was 184 centimeters, I would say no for myself because I would be very happy at that height. I mean, what is that like one? That's like 6'1" or something like that, 6'2" maybe. I think it's kind of. Again, I can't say. I don't know where you were living in the world. I have no judgments anymore. In the past, I did. I would just say like, no, don't do that. But it really depends on you, So I think it's unnecessary. But if it makes you happier, I'm all for it. All right. So did the little thing go in here? I have to scroll down and check. Yeah, it did. Okay. So click that link if you want to join Andrew Mack. All right. Hey, Vic. This is not a real question, limb lengthening question, but who's the tallest woman you dated and how did that relationship go? Oh, it was, she was 5 foot. I actually remember this was 2019. It was just before the pandemic. And she was, I think she was like 5'9.5", maybe 5'10". So she was just slightly taller than me. And it was a little weird. I guess when I was walking around, we were at Longwood Gardens in PA. Hey, we got Fate. What's up here? What's up, Fate?
Fate, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, brother? How are you?
Perfect. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, I'm just doing some questions here. Hey, so somebody on the Discord wants to connect with you. Are you in the Discord?
Yeah.
You are. Okay. So,
Yes.
shoot. You know what? Before, you're talking to me in Meta, like the IG or whatever. So, if you can find the Discord before we go, stay on when we go off. We won't be forever. So I can get you connected with this guy. He wants to talk to you.
Yeah, one moment.
If you're open to that, again, I'm not pushing you to do anything.
No, I can tell you.
What's that? Yeah, sure.
I need a.
But yeah, like you need a moment. Yeah, Ben. So like tallest woman I dated, yeah, she's 5'9.5", 5'10". I don't know. Maybe she was wearing something in her shoes. It looked like they were flat shoes. I remember I have a photographic memory. But anyway, we were in Longwood Gardens and I was walking around this place. It was like Christmas time. And she was just like, she felt like a giant. I don't know. So it made me feel a little weird, right? So from a guy's perspective, dating a woman like that, I felt a little weird. I do like, the women that I date, like I like them a little bit shorter. But I think it was a little not like uncomfortable. Like she was an awesome person, like a really nice person that I was dating, but it just was yeah. So I think that there is that something like that. It's like a subconscious dynamic that you want to be taller than the woman you're dating. I don't know. I can't explain, but for me, that's yeah. It was yeah. The relationship it was like a date or two, and that was it. Like I think it was like 3 dates, and yeah. So for one, it was long distance. I don't know. I was messing with long distance stuff at the time, but anyway, yeah, yeah.
Discord is can't open it. Is it okay if you if I gave you my email? I have a special email. Maybe you can contact with me over there.
Yes, yes. You mean your email?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that at the just shoot me that, or you can you email it to victor@cyborgforlife.com?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, email me your email and I'll send it to him. I just like to make the connections for patients who are looking to talk to other patients. That's the job. All right, let's see. What's the next question here? Is it worthy to wait for the stride? I think so, Rodrigo. So if you can afford it, if it makes sense for you, I think so, because look, you're still going to need to be careful with walking around and stuff like that. Don't do anything stupid. But like I think for stature lengthening, if you can afford it again, I think it's a game changer, because it's just a sense of security for you as the patient to go through, have a more, I guess, a greater sense of independence when you're lengthening. You can, walk around without fearing that the nail is going to mess up or bend or malfunction while you're lengthening. So yes, it's more expensive by a couple grand, but I think that is the insurance policy that you're paying for, because if something happens, you're most likely going to have to pay more than what you paid for that increase or the difference in price for the weight bearing nail. So I would say so, Rodrigo.
So yeah, I wrote my email in the live chat. I think that's the best choice.
Oh, in the live chat. You put in the live chat. You can put it in the private chat if you don't want to put it there. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
I have a special email for this. So
oh, you do. You do. That's awesome. Yes. A burner email. Cool. I'll actually post it below on the YouTube video if I can find it here. I will post it in the description so people can reach out to you.
Yeah. See,
really appreciate you doing that. That's huge, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. All right. So you ready to help me answer some questions here, Fate?
Yeah, sure.
Cool, man. Let's do it. All right. So let's see. Where was I? So time lapse car guy Bruno saying do it. He wants me to do stature lengthening. What do you think, Fate? You think I should do it?
I think so, Victor.
You think so? Of course, because you're doing it. You're like, go ahead and push me into the deep end as well, right? Break your amazing legs, Victor, and all that bodybuilding stuff out the window. Now, I mean, look, I've been through lengthening. I've had 3 broken legs, so it's not like I'm not scared of the pain. I'm not scared of the rehabilitation. I think I am scared of the rehabilitation. It's just like, I think, well, actually, no, I'm not, because I know how to do it. It's just, I guess, the time away from doing things, because it's like, it feels like, and when I say doing things, like doing things in life, because like bodybuilding's I've been a slave to bodybuilding for over 15 years now. It's like, I have to win the world title. So I haven't really been able to do things like rock climbing, skydiving, because I know I might hurt myself and I'm not going to risk that for bodybuilding. So I think I need like a year or two, like a gap year or 2 or 3 to enjoy my life before doing this, and do things before I get too old, because it's like, I haven't even really, I mean, I'm chasing this thing, the sport. And when you're an athlete, your sport is your life in a way. I mean, not really, but you get what I'm saying. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep it moving here. Yeah, guys, let's see. Maverick, interested in hearing from anyone who did Bet's bone in the tibia. Seems like clicking might be less severe than the femurs, and the weight bearing aspect is a plus. Yeah, no, I don't know anybody right now that's doing it in the tibias, because obviously femurs can get more length, and that's usually what they do. But if we find out anybody that's doing that, we'll let you know, Maverick. You can probably ask around the Discord to see if anybody's done that, but not sure. Okay, let's keep it moving. Fate, how far are you along with your lengthening right now?
Just hit 4.5 centimeters tonight. So yeah, I'm exactly on 5'8" now in the morning, on the highest peak, and man, you can't imagine. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Even with only one leg, that's the funny thing. I still have the feeling that I'm 5'8" with a shorter leg, and not 5'6" with a longer 5'6" with a longer leg.
That's cool, man. Wow. So you're 4.5 centimeters in.
4.5 centimeters. Yes.
That's crazy. So you're almost 2 inches taller. That's insane. And
Yes.
do you notice the difference, like when you're on the crutches?
Extremely hard. I really don't even thought that much. I would say the first notice for me was at 2 centimeters. At 2 centimeters, it was like the first really warm feeling after years with my height. Even
Yeah.
at 2 centimeters, you know.
That's so cool, man. I mean, to think about it, I remember when you first started talking to me, like you're like, "Hey, I'm about to get my surgery," and now you're 4.5 centimeters in. Are you incredibly happy with everything so far?
Absolutely, and I have to say, Victor, without you, I had my surgery done at 18 in one of those clinics in Turkey. And I really want to say thank you from the deepest bottom of my heart. I really appreciate what you do, Victor. Really, I can say we love you for the work you do, Victor. Really.
That's awesome, brother. I'm so glad to hear it. No, it's my pleasure. Seriously, like I said, I feel like it's actually my moral obligation to do that. Like, I somehow got traction to this platform, and it's like I can't run away now. I'm helping too many people, and it's connecting a lot of dots, right? This is a very unknown industry. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns in this industry, and if it was in my power to be able to connect people, I have to do it. So my pleasure, Fate. I'm glad to help out. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like it's kind of a dry chat here, but we're gonna chat it up in a second. We'll ask Fate some more questions, but JM's asking when you're getting more surgeons on. Probably the next month. Yeah. Fate. Okay, here we go. Jam's asking, Fate, if you knew that the weight bearing nail was coming out, would you have still done unilateral?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. I still, yeah, I thought about this the last days, and I still think, yeah, because it's like also a mental crutch. Even if you have a complication like knee contracture or something like this, you still have one leg, and you can really make a very good and detailed physiotherapy, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's a very, very big advantage for this.
I
But
agree.
I totally, I would say I would go bilateral when I have yeah, full weight bearing nail. It's like straight.
Right, because you can kill two birds with one stone at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
You really don't need unilateral way when you have weight bearing nail, in my opinion. That's my opinion.
right. Yeah, no, for sure. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Let's see. So Fate's at 4.5 centimeters right now. He's doing unilateral lengthening. He's gonna come back and do his other leg later. You guys have any other questions? Because otherwise we could end it a little early today. Get me some sleep early. No, Fate, what time is it over there?
2 o'clock in the morning.
What is wrong with you, man? I don't know how you do. Are you just on a different sleep schedule right now?
Absolutely, yeah. I just cut down the pain meds like 1 week ago. So if you, I would say this time I went on your last live stream last day, last week.
Yeah.
I cut down completely the tramadol. I only take 100 milligram, and the
Mhm.
last 6 weeks I take about 400 to 500 milligram a day.
Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah,
That's
it's a whole different feeling with it.
it's feeling. Yeah, you're trimming it down there. Hey, we got Ricky B here. Ricky Bob. Ricky Bob. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, Ricky B? How are you? Let me see. I swear these audio.
I'm
Ricky
good.
B,
Can
you
you hear
there?
me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. What's up,
I'm
man?
good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep,
Oh,
I can hear you.
oh, not much. Oh, not much. I'm the
I
prospective patient going to Paley
going to Paleo.
with the
Gotcha.
Precise Max.
Awesome, man. You're waiting for that. Look, I talked to a lot of consults in the last week about waiting for that precise max or trying to get in line for it. And man, I think it's the right choice for this procedure. I think patients need that independence during lengthening. Not only that, there's a faster time to recover. You're going to get a faster normalized walk. I think the price difference, I don't know what it's going to be, but I think it's going to be under 10 grand more than the precise two. And I think it's going to be worth it. I think it's an insurance policy based on what I've seen. A lot of bent nails this year, a lot of issues with the precise nail. I think patients, when we talk about walking assistance with walkers and stuff, I think it's because Fate's doing obviously unilateral, so that's different. That's crutches. But I think with bilateral, you have to be like almost extra careful, because if you put your legs down too hard or forceful, if you're tired at night going to the bathroom, something can happen, and it can lead to misalignment stuff. So yeah, I think it's the right choice, Ricky B.
It's kind of strange because the composition of the nail, it's the same as precise, but I'm not exactly sure what makes it weight bearing. Like, is it thicker or
I
it's the
think
exact same composition though?
Is it really?
Yeah, yeah. When I spoke to Paley, they just said it's like it's a bigger diameter or something, but
Okay.
it's still like whatever they do for precise 2.2, it's exactly the same composition, but somehow it's stronger.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe there's some sort of density difference. I'm not sure, but if it's the same, I thought they were changing the composition a little bit. I thought it was going to be some sort of mixed alloy or something like that. I know that they're going to have titanium and then they're going to have some sort of different thing, but they have to keep the corrosion issue out. So I think they were probably going to go straight titanium, just a thicker density or something. That's cool. No, I think look, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be as strong as Stride, but I think it's going to be stronger than Precise 2. I think it's going to be, that's why they call it the Precise Max. So maximal capacity for the Precise. And I think it's going to be enough for most patients. I think if you're like super obese, obviously you wouldn't want to get lengthening done anyway. So be careful there, but it's worth it, man. So you're doing the right thing there.
Yeah, I'm not even sure why they recalled the Stride. I mean, because like I think like hip stuff, they do a corrosion into different types of hip those like disposable joint things. I mean, they do have corrosion there as well, and I mean the hip stuff they have to keep it on there the rest of the life. Versus
Yeah.
precise, we have it for what 12 months max. Or
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, not precise, but it's the Stride. It's 12 months max. You know, if you have like a non-union, but I don't understand why that's such a big deal. Who cares about the corrosion?
Fantastic point that you made there. I think the only reason why they're doing it is because of this stigma around stature lengthening. And even though they don't, come out and say, hey, look, we support stature lengthening, they say limb length discrepancy on their site. But I think it's because of the fact they don't want to get any issues, linking them to some sort of, corrosion issue or something like that. With this surgery, right? Like if it happened with hip replacements, they're like, oh, well, there's other medical device companies like Stryker. We have, all these different ones out there. But with NuVasive being like the monopoly in the industry for limb lengthening, they didn't want to like risk that. I think their head was on the chopping block, and the other competitors like Orthofix and other ones were just waiting for that. They're like, in fact, people, and I think this was those other companies. They were during the corrosion recall. People were like, different companies were emailing me dirt on NuVasive. And they were like, hey, I think this, it said anonymous. Like I couldn't follow the email. I couldn't reply. And it was like, hey, maybe you should talk about this on your channel. I was like, yeah, no, that's not happening. I'm not getting a lawsuit. But no, I think this is big. You can see that the nail's going to come back out. Hopefully they dealt with the corrosion issue, and the patient's going to be very happy. I think so for a fact.
I mean, like a lot of the parts, when they take it out after a while, they replace it. I mean, especially if it's movable parts, there's always going to be corrosion. And these people have it on there for 10, 15, 20 years, then they replace the hip again. So, but I'm thinking this is like, 2 segments that you keep on for 12 months. Who cares about the corrosion? I mean, this is pathetic.
Yeah.
I would actually sign a waiver and say, just give me the Stride, because I know that Stride was made out of steel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know that will not break. There's no chance I'll break.
Right. No, that's not going.
I've never seen anything break using that kind of material.
No, not at all. No, man, I really do think it was the stigma and like the whole, issue around limb lengthening. I mean, because think about it, right? Like there are other surgeries, like if you get any other broken bones, there's a chance for fat embolism. I mean, Brazilian butt lifts have like one of the highest risks for fat emboli. But I think it's because there's so much stigma around this surgery right now, and there's all eyes on it. They're just waiting for something to go wrong, and they're like, "Oh, we told you so." The stupid people, So I think that's why they were doing it. So, but cool. All right, let's see. This Batman Limp begins at saying how to overcome the fear of limb lengthening. So, Fate, what did you do? How did you overcome the fear of getting limb lengthening done?
I think the key is that the informative phase at the beginning, where you're searching information on the internet, should be at least 1 to 1.5 years. I think you should consult with many doctors. And if you do it, I think it's not that hard. The names are on the internet, the names are in different live streams. It's not that hard to aim for a good surgeon. And I think if you have this, I can tell you this from my own perspective. I doesn't I were not nervous at all because of my choice, the surgeon.
That's awesome, man.
That's the key.
Yeah, it's just being informed, right? Like educating yourself about the procedure. I think that's why the channel has helped a lot of people, because it has people on here. We have Ricky as a prospective patient. We have you, Fate, as a actual patient. And if you think about it, we have had past patients come on, we had surgeons come on, and it's like you can get this really good sense of how the process is going to go. You've heard of complications and what to watch out for and what the most likely complications. And based on what the consultations that I've had, I've tried to put videos out on that. And it's like I try to cover every single topic that I possibly could based on what I've heard. And it's like I really try to not miss anything. I try to like uncover every aspect of limb lengthening, to where it's like you guys are ad nauseum, because it's like, just stop talking about limb lengthening. But there's going to be that one person who has a question for that one topic. Like I got to shoot the one on why it's important not to smoke before the surgery, and different things like that. So absolutely, just educating yourself, it can kind of lower the fear. Talking to other patients is a good way to do that. Consulting with surgeons. So those are all good ways. And then just kind of like realizing that if this is something you really want, that it's going to be scary, you're going to be anxious, but it's like, is it worth living with this gnawing thought about your height or discrepancy for the rest of your life? I don't think so. I think you eventually have to get something done about it. So is that, Ricky, now from your perspective, what's that, Fate?
And keep in mind the chance that things will go on so badly that you are crippled for your life are so far under 1%. And if you have this in mind, it's not much more dangerous than other things you ever done in your life. So it's it's really, complications can be fixed, and most of them. So I would say if you have a good surgeon and good mentality, then the chances are so far over 99% that things will go good.
Absolutely. And you're listening to an actual patient, right? Like I'm a patient, there's other patients, they come on here. So it's like, that's what this is all about, is like showing you real case studies like this. I didn't tell Fate to come on here. He clicked on himself. Like I'm not showing some flashy, video of one of the patients and then not telling you everything else that's happening. You guys know, like Rial came on last week and he told him that he had a mishap. So he was open about that. Like there's nothing hidden. I want this be the most unbiased, neutral platform about limb lengthening, and that's what we're hoping to achieve. So, but I wanted to ask Ricky B about his how you're overcoming the fear of getting limb lengthening done from a prospective patient perspective.
I did so much research on it, and I'm gonna live in the U.S., so I just wanted the best surgeon. I have everything saved already, so I saved up, and I was like, okay, let me get the best surgeon, and that just takes half the fear away. Just the way that he says, stay in Florida as well. So I like his style. It's sort of like the guy from South Africa. He always says stay there,
right,
during the actual lengthening phase and whatnot. So I really like the perspective. I like how much experience he has. He's a whole institute named after him. So that this guy's a top-notch guy. So I have no issues at all. It's just the weight bearing. The weight bearing wheel I'm waiting for. That was it.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I think that's another thing, Ricky. It's like the weight, the device, right? Like that's another way to lower your risk or your fear of limb lengthening. It's like if you think about a weight-bearing device, although you're not running or doing anything stupid while you're lengthening, it's just that sense of security that nothing's going to happen. You're going to be a little bit in pain after the first 2 weeks. First 2 weeks, a lot of pain, but like after that, it's a little bit of pain. You got to do a lot of dedication to your physical therapy. But after that, it's a waiting game. You're just watching your legs get longer every day. And before you know it, like Fate, you'll be at 4.5, or soon, like Phaedrus, probably a little over 6. I think he's probably going to be at 6 soon. Or what's his name? DJ Cyborg. So all these guys who have had their own obstacle in front of them before getting limb lengthening done, but they had to kind of figure out, like, it's you got to make the decision sometime. And I think that's kind of what you got to do. So awesome.
I was going to ask you, Vic, how many
Yeah.
times did Real break the nail? Was it like twice or three times? I mean, what exactly happened each time?
So twice. So he came on last week and he said that basically his first one he was doing physical therapy and like the nail, it was kind of like had a corner kind of turn and it kind of like spiraled and it kind of like I think the mechanism kind of gave, right? So it wasn't a full break, it was kind of more an issue, but he had to get that swapped. Or did he get it swapped? Yeah, I think he got that swapped for another nail. And then I think his second one was the actual nail bent or broke. Because he said that the regenerate wasn't, consolidated enough on that leg. But it showed you like those nails aren't, meant for weight bearing. So I think that's why I really do think that I want to stress that the weight bearing nail is probably a good idea.
And then what do you think about the actual screws and whatnot? Do you think even though I have the Precice Max, will I have an issue with the screws like bending or breaking?
I don't think so. I think again, like you got to remember that it's like, yes, during lengthening, the nail's what's holding you up, but eventually, once you let the consolidate start to kind of form, those cortices, they're going to start to fill in. It'll be your bone and stuff. So while you're moving during lengthening, you're not running, right? So there's not enough impact to really kind of get to the screws. But once you get into running or anything that would, like the screws would be something like a stress riser, like where it's like kind of into your bone and then can cause an issue of a little fracture. That's what Dr. Robbins said. But once you're running again, your bone is also supporting with the nail. So it's unlikely that the screw is going to take enough force with a weight bearing nail and cortical walls to give. So I think you'll be fine. That being said, I haven't seen this new implant. I don't know enough about it. We haven't seen any patient cases yet. Have they done their soft release? Who knows? I don't know. NuVasive is very stealthy with their marketing and their releases. But I think the first clinics to get this in the US, we'll see. It'll be like a race. What's it called? The cold. So it was the Cold War, like Russia versus the US. Yeah, I think it's going to be like that. The first clinics to get it, but obviously Paley's going to have it, first because he actually helped design the thing. So, and like you said, he's going to keep all his patients there, even with it. He wants to keep an eye on everybody. Other clinics, they kind of let you go back and do things. I don't know how I feel about that, but anyway. There's some more questions coming in here, guys. Let's see. Oh, we got JP's question. What's up, JP? How are you? Corrosion can lead to non-union or delayed union. Absolutely. It can. JP's right. It can lead to the lytic formation of the bone. It just basically causes some lysis. Basically, it just doesn't allow the bone to heal in that area, or it could cause hypertrophy. So it really has different effects. Yeah. Let's see. Next question. Do we think we can keep limb lengthening as a secret after doing it? Fate, I want to talk to you about this. You're getting it done right now. Are you keeping this secret from anybody? Does anybody know?
Yeah, that's an absolute perfect question. Yeah, and I think for this
JP.
I think for this unilateral lengthening is also good because when you are young, you can tell that's like a growth spawn, and the other leg doesn't switch up because of infection on the epiphyseal joints, I think, or something like this. You can tell that and keep it a secret.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Let's talk to another patient here who got it done. JP, well, he definitely didn't keep it a secret because this guy's a movie star. What's up, JP? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Look like you're studying there.
Yeah. It's
studying?
It's cardiology right now. So I'm doing cardio, so it's hard. It's
hard.
difficult and but you know what? I'm glad I stopped school to do limb lengthening last year, because doing limb lengthening while doing this would have been too hard. So
yeah, I figured that was the case. I think that taking that little gap year and just getting this out of your way, now you can focus full on the studies. And
I feel better. That's what I noticed. Like when I came back, like I feel more confident. I feel like it's weird to say, but I feel like a different person now.
Mm-hmm. That's incredible. I think you're able to kind of focus better, right?
Yeah. And because it's weird. Like it changed so many things in the way I think, but it's only height, but it had multiple effects on my thought process.
Yep. Absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's what a lot of patients have told me too. It's like it affects many aspects of their life. And it's just like it has a compounding effect. And you fix this one little thing and it's like, wow, I can breathe again. The same thing happened to me. Like I had something that was just affecting me every day. And I was like, I got this fixed and my life was much better. That's incredible, man.
It's hard
JP,
to explain. It's hard to like to understand how it has such a profound effect, but it does.
Absolutely. Absolutely. JP, there was a question in here. I actually wanted to, well, let's ask this. So, well, you probably won't know how to do this because you did keep it a secret. But like, how would you go about keeping it a secret after doing limb lengthening?
Well, you can. There's multiple ways, and you even have a video on this.
Yeah.
So might want to watch that video because there's a couple of ways to do it. But the first way that comes to mind for me is to just say you have corrective surgery.
Yep.
Correction of a bowel leg or valgus deformity, and that should go. I mean, you don't need to tell them that you're getting taller. And if they notice after your limb lengthening that you're taller, you can tell them that's just an effect of correcting my alignment.
And it really is. They just don't need to know how much, but that's absolutely true. All right, guys, let's see what else we got here. Oh, I actually did miss one question in here. I think he missed it. Okay, so this one is the Precice Max fully truly full weight bearing or just a higher weight tolerance than the Precice 2? Say I'm 190 at the time of the surgery. Is it feasible to depend on just the nails? No, yeah, I think based on rumor, again, I don't know anything about this nail. Based on rumor, it's called Precice Max. Maybe that's just a name, marketing thing. I don't know, but I think it's going to be similar to the Stride in terms of capacity, weight bearing capacity, but I don't think it's going to be equal. Like Ricky B said, it's a stainless steel versus a titanium composite. And you can't really compare the two, right? Like titanium is not as strong as steel. But if you have a thicker density, again, we're going to have probably Paley come on and talk about it this fall because he was on the design team for it. So we'll see. All right, let's see. Any other questions in here for these guys? You got JP, this movie star. We got Fate, who's getting it done unilaterally. And we have Ricky B as prospective patient. You guys can ask him questions as well. All right, let's see. So this one is Rodrigo's asking, what's the best way to contact past patients close to you? I live in Portugal. So the best way I think right now is the Discord we have going on. JP's in there. A lot of guys are in there. It's free. I have a link below. People from all over the world are getting this done. Now, I don't know if we have somebody specifically from Portugal, but I'm sure there's people who are in that region who can talk to you about that. So, okay, GGGH, 18 years old, 5'3". This surgery I feel is honestly my gateway to having a full, happy life. How realistic do you think it would be to get in 5 years? JP, you want to take this one?
Like it's realistic if you put your mind to it and you put efforts. But the thing is, you have to prioritize different things. If you want to have a career and you want to have ambitions and stuff, you have to prioritize. So maybe it's going to be better for you to go to college first and then do it. But if for you it's like so major that like it's like a cloud on top of your head and you can't even perform well in school, and like then I'd suggest to start saving up and start doing everything you can towards reaching the objective, and 5 years you'd be 23. So it would be young, but we have some patients in the Discord that are doing it at this age. And you can always like finance part of it, and I mean, when I realized I wanted limb lengthening, I was 21. So I wasn't that far from you. And it took me 7 years from that moment to do it. So 5 years, 7 years, relatively close,
Absolutely. Fantastic answer. And honestly, look, I love what you just said about like, if you can't focus, right? Like it's going to be a very hard 5 years. And look, you can kind of depend on family and say, hey, look, can I borrow something now, get familial support, and then be willing to pay them back later when you're in your career doing really well. So I think JP made some fantastic points there. Definitely take that home. The box. Why do we see some people at 1 year post-op and they still can't walk properly? This is a good question, but I think the main answer that I want to give you is that it's probably just the surgeon, right? Like, the guys here on this panel right now, they're all picking good surgeons. You pick a questionable surgeon with less experience, or if they over lengthen you, or you just don't do enough rehab, there's a lot of red flags that can come up and cause a hindrance in your recovery. And that's why I think, because JP's at like just over his year now, and he's back to doing everything perfectly, right, JP?
Yeah, perfectly. No one can notice that I don't have anything weird with my walk, so they can't notice I had surgery.
Right. and he's only barely at the 1 year mark. He's only getting better. So, and Fate is doing one leg at a time. We're watching his recovery as it happens. So, all right, let's answer some more questions here. Let's try to keep this in there. Oh, somebody just orange. LS, what's up? Welcome to the show. You there? LS? I hear something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, brother?
Nothing much.
How's it going? All right, so, are you a prospective patient or actual limb lengthening patient?
I'm a curious channel watcher who's done some research, and considering when I have the funds, I might take the plunge. But someone on the fence, going back and forth whether I really want to do it or it's just something I might not do eventually. There's lots of factors to consider, right? So that's the thing.
Gotcha. No, you're in the right place. This is the perfect place to be. I mean, we have an actual patient that is done his lengthening. JP here. We got Ricky B is a prospective patient. He's where you are, maybe further along. He's already kind of committed, so he's a little bit further along. And then we have Fate, who is actually doing it right now. So yeah, man, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask.
So okay, I'll start with one thing that's funny and not really a question is my perception of height, right? So I would look at someone off to the corner and be like, oh, that guy's kind of short, right? And then I walk by then and I'm shorter. So I'm like, oh my, like it was kind of warped, right? So, and then the torso height, I'm currently 5'6" first thing in the morning. So by nighttime, I'm kind of just above 5'5". So I thought that the torso, if I got taller, might be kind of weird, like a short torso, let's say a couple inches, and then the legs will be too long. But unbeknownst to me, some people have that naturally. So I've seen people, just saw in the men's locker room one day, the guy is about 6'3", maybe, and kind of have the same torso. I'm like, what in the world is happening? But he also has the hands to match it, right? So currently I'm 5'6" in the morning. My wingspan is 5'10", so I think I have that on my side. What would you think be the ideal maximum within the safe limits I could push to be tall to maintain proportion? Since I have 5'10" height, I know you don't like to do the details, but just advice.
Either sure, I can play with this
single or like quadrilateral. Yeah.
So you said you're 5'5", 5'6" in the morning.
5'6" in the morning. 5'5" at nighttime. So let's just say 5'5" and a half average. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we'll just take 5'5" to be nice and even there. So that's about a 5-inch difference in terms of wingspan versus height. Looking at you, yeah, I would definitely see a difference in that. I would probably grab my attention a little bit. I think you could get away with 2 or 3 inches and it would immediately eliminate that discrepancy in terms of like proportion offness or skewedness, if you will. I don't think you need to go perfect like 5'10" and then match your height to your arm. I don't think you have to go. I think it can be within 4 inches. So I think you're already pretty much there. But I think gaining 2 inches at least, nobody would be able to tell. Like I might still be able to tell just if I looked at you for a solid second, like, but you go closer to that height, less noticeable. So I would say ideally, yes, quadrilateral lengthening of 5 inches, the 8 and the 3, the 8 and the 5, to get you to the 5'10", perfect proportions, but you don't need to. JP will tell you like just doing one limb segment's almost probably good enough, right, JP?
Yeah, depending on your starting height, it might be good enough. At least start with one,
Yeah. Start with one and then see how it feels. And if you don't like it, it's all about what you like. If you don't like it, you can always go back and get another one. Ricky, are proportions like a big worry of yours?
Oh, not at all. I'm 5'8" starting, so I'm gonna go the full 3. Yeah, I'm gonna go the full 3 because I mean I've seen so many people in the malls and whatnot. I mean, it's physically impossible. I sit down with my wife, we're looking, we're like, oh, this guy must have had it. He never had it in his whole life, but he looks weird. So it's like this is how people were born, It's like
proportions
nobody's
vary
gonna
in
be
nature.
proportional. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one on earth is gonna look at it. I saw a lot of the videos from that one actor. He had the guy that did with Paley. He was wearing shorts. I think he was in Vegas. He was wearing shorts, like shorts. So you could actually see how long his femurs are, and he looked perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I was like, give me a break, man. No one's gonna dissect this shit, dude. It's completely is completely bullshit, man. It's like you get the stuff done, you resolve your height dysphoria, you get on with your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll tell you this. Look, Rich Rotella, who actually is the patient that did it with Paley, he came.
Oh yeah, that's him.
That's him. Yeah.
I completely forgot his name. Yep.
Yeah. He actually came to Baltimore last Thursday. We did some filming for a little part of the documentary, and he was wearing jeans. And even me, with my trained eye from bodybuilding, I looked at him and was like, dude, your proportions look fantastic. He did the full 8 centimeters. He didn't do his tibias, and he was 5'5" before. So I don't know his wingspan, but his hand still came down mid thigh, so he was okay there. He didn't have to get arm lengthening, but he looked great. Now, when he was squatting, I still saw some little bit of issues there. He needed to take a water stance biomechanically, but in terms of proportions and visual appearance, not at all. Not at all. Nothing that normal people would pick up. If you're wearing pants, shorts, same thing. If they come down to even within 3 inches of the knee, I think 7-inch inseams to maybe 9-inch inseams, you're fine. So yeah, there's little to worry about proportions, but I think women, I had a lot of consultations with women lately. They're more worried about it. They're like, oh, why can't I see any pictures of women that have this this procedure? I want to see what it looks like at the end. I'm like, well, a lot of the women are very discreet about this, but look, but most guys, they really don't care at the end of it. So cool. Let's keep it moving real quick for a few more questions here. Oh, JP, they had a question for you. It just came in here. JP, how did you prevent the rods from breaking or bending?
Using a walker for at least 6 months, then going to crutches, and when the doctor looked at my x-rays and gave me the okay, when she said you can basically weight bear now, this is when I did it. So I didn't do it before, and we waited long enough so that my recovery was kind of, I guess it's on the longer side. It took me 9 months and a half before I walked normally,
Mm-hmm.
But at least I didn't break a nail, and didn't have any complications. And the nails also, they didn't bend. So I put a lot of weight on my hands, and in order to do this, one thing that I found that helped me was to put some gel pads on the walker handles.
Ah, that's interesting because there's a lot of pressure on your hand.
Yeah, you put all of your weight on the walker.
Yeah, that's really cool. Good tip there. I didn't even think about that one. Guys, pick that one up. That's a really good golden nugget from JP. Okay, so LS, do you have any other questions before we move on to the last?
I have 1,000,001 questions, but we'll probably have to book a consultation for that. But let me just do a few that I know.
Sure.
Because I've been DMing JP and all these guys too, because I'm incognito because identity crisis, anyway.
That's fine.
So muscular wise, so I'm a very muscular guy and I lift lots of weight in the gym. So let me just try and summarize. It's 2 parts. So the first part is as someone that is muscular, what are the restrictions? I always hear this the ERC device might not work if you have too much muscle. And will the muscle also be tough to prevent the device from lengthening, or the devices are strong enough? And number 2, so I have some, maybe this question for a surgeon, but mild scoliosis. So one leg I think is less tall than the other one, right? But that's from the hip and spine being bent. But as of now, when you're older, they will never be straight again. So can I compensate by just lengthening one a few centimeters than the other to match both, and then be permanently level, since the scoliosis is just a tiny degree bend? You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay. So for your first question, you're asking about the significant muscle in the legs for lengthening. Yeah. So surgeons will recommend, not training the legs and giving up training for the legs. I think you can train them. You just want to train with a lighter load and focus on flexibility and cardio. Just focus on conditioning the tissue, getting it supple and loose enough for lengthening. And you don't need to build a ton of bulk if you already have a ton of bulk. So just kind of taper your training. I think 8 weeks before you're lengthening, you should be fine. Focus on the stretches. You'll be good. Now, if you already have a lot of bulk and you're not very flexible, start further out. But that's going to take care of that question. That's the only thing I think. JP, you had big legs before lengthening, right? So what did you do?
So I stopped working out my legs a year prior to surgery, and I also started stretching a year prior to surgery. So meaning when I got to the surgery, my legs were kind of flexible. So it worked fine. The other thing you brought up is the ERC machine. Maybe having trouble lengthening if your muscle is too thick, because the magnetic waves have to travel around your muscle and it's thicker. So for this, they advise that you press hard on it. And I've heard that the first version of the ARC is less prone to have this type of issue than the
Newer.
second ones.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, no, that's so true. Fate, what about you? Like, I know you were a pretty muscular guy when we were chatting before you started your lengthening. What did you do about this?
What question, please again?
Yeah, so LS is asking about having muscular legs before getting lengthening done. You worked out. I remember you told me that. Did you have any issue? Do you have any issue right now as you're lengthening your femur?
You mean proportions?
What's that?
Do you mean the proportions? The proportions?
You're falling asleep over there, Faye. You can go, man. It's like,
no.
It's like 2 a.m. Please, no worries here, no hard feelings. But no, he's asking like as far as like the muscle thickness, did that affect your lengthening at all?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh,
I would say on this and the other thing, we can't really train the leg with a non-weight bearing nail. So yeah, it's definitely the legs go thinner. Yes.
Gotcha. Now we have Brett here, above tempo here in the corner here. Brett, this question LS is asking, and I think this is a good guy to ask. He got quadrilateral lengthening done 4 and 4. Brett, so he's asking about muscle in the legs before getting lengthening done.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I didn't know my mic was having some issues. Sorry.
That's okay.
So I don't know the best answer for that, because so just so you know, I am now planning to go into my second phase of this probably around March or April of next year. Wow. I'm still figuring out the exact date, but yeah, I keep going back and forth, like, because I have been working out now, doing squats and things like that. Like, should I try to really make my legs stronger and get that muscle stronger, or should I focus more on stretching and not necessarily keeping it so strong, right? Because I need to do the surgery again to cut into there and do things. I think I'm erring more towards the second route of I'm not trying to get too super strong before this again until I get all of the rods out and I'm completely done. Then I would really maybe go more for the super kind of get the muscles as strong as possible and tight. I don't know if that's a good answer, but that's the way I've been thinking about it. So
no, I love that. I think the same thing. It's like kind of a combo of like what JP did. JP did fantastic. I mean, he really took that year out approach. I think if you're thinking about this that far out, LS, definitely start stretching as soon as possible. Get into condition. You don't like, I don't know, JP just was like worried about it. He probably stopped training altogether, but I think you can just go lighter, right? Like lighter training is just not going to do anything. If you're doing like 20 reps, you're not going to build a whole lot of muscle from that. So yeah, you should be fine. But your second question was about compensating for your scoliotic or like your scoliosis and your curvature, your spine for the disc or the length.
So it's kind of like I know that there's some mild like imbalance in my hips due to the scoliosis, right? And it's not a severe curve that can be corrected like surgically, right? But then your spine generally doesn't change shape after you pass adolescence, right? So I'm like, if that you bring one leg up to match the other, I mean, there might be slight knee imbalances, but then my hip will be level. Is that something that, is a strategy that you can use, or they will still want to make both legs the same length from the hip down?
I think that's a good question for a surgeon, but from what I understand, if you're trying to balance your hip using femoral lengthening, and you start off with equal femurs, then what it'll do is that you also have a chance that that instead of balancing your hip, what could happen is maybe your knee is gonna go inwards, or because you're walking on it, so you're not. So it's because I don't know, but might want to ask a surgeon.
Yeah, that's a good question. So he's talking about like, do you have a discrepancy in your limb length?
That's the thing, right? I don't know if the discrepancy is in the limb length or the curvature of the spine jacks up on the hip, right?
Okay, so if it's in your, okay, I got you, of your pelvis. So if it's there, then that's something that you'd have to fix either like functionally, like by muscle, imbalance or whatnot. But if it's a limb length, then absolutely, because I had that, right? Like I had induced scoliosis because of that, and that's why I got my height back. So I know for a fact that if you have a limb length discrepancy, you'll have to get it, like JP said, see a surgeon, get a long-standing X-ray. They'll have to like look at your bone lengths of everything, like the spine, the femur, the tibia. But JP's right, like, so having your hips level, obviously you're going to lose a lot of pain. You're going to be fine walking and stuff, but doing squatting movements, if your knee height's different, there's shearing pressure that can go through those. So you have to take a wider stance. That's what I have to do.
It's funny because I already have like knee pain because of the hip. Like over the years, the knee pain has gotten worse on one side, right?
Yeah.
So,
JP,
and funny story, the way I found out, I mean, I kind of had suspicions that I had scoliosis, but because it wasn't a severe kind, I was always just suspecting.
Yeah.
But then I was lifting in the gym and accidentally dropped the barbell on my ribs, right? And I had to get an X-ray to see if there's any rib contusion. Then I saw my span just, doing a gangster lean to one side. So I'm like, okay, I definitely have scoliosis.
I like it. No, yeah, definitely. So like the really cool thing with limb lengthening is that either lengthening both limbs, if you're going to get it done, they can lengthen a little bit more and balance you out. So yeah, for sure. And if I doubt it's that big of a discrepancy, or that you would know for a fact. So cool. Let's see. Any other questions, LS, before we answer some more of these questions here?
I think that's all for now. If I remember any later, I'll pipe up. Yeah.
Cool. Let's try to plow through these real quick. We're going to do a fast shot. So I'm going to give each of you guys on the panel a question, answer it, and then we're going to go because these guys are flying in here now. All right, JP. Or let's start with Brett. We're going to do Brett. We're going to go reverse. So the question we had was, let's see, we just answered the JP one. Okay. So actually, this is actually a good one for Ricky B because he just said this. So I'm 5'8". Is it worth getting this? I'm already married and have a good career. It's like I'm on the edge of not worth it. Ricky B, you're up.
For me, it's worth it because I'm constantly thinking about it. So
Gotcha.
I'm sort of in the same situation. I'm married, 5'8", but I'm still thinking about it for some reason. I have no idea why. So I want to get that out of my head.
Okay. Very cool. And Fate, I think you were just shy of 5'8", right, when you started?
Yeah, I started at 5'6", and Victor, for me personally, when I get to 5'7", I really thought that's it. Everything above from 5'7" is a bonus, but for me personally, I thought 5'7" and everything is great. Like Real Deal, the last live stream. When you are 5'7", you are taller. You don't have this typical woman height in the Europe nation. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Okay, very good question answer there, guys. All right, let's see. Kevin W is asking. We're gonna let JP take this one. I'm now at 4.6 on my femurs, and I weigh 165 pounds. Should the focus be on stretching and range of motion rather than strength, since I'm using a walker and the Alter G treadmill, which is like an anti-gravity treadmill?
Yeah, I mean, 4.6 centimeters, it means the guy is still lengthening. So should be focusing on stretching and range of motion before trying to strengthen the muscle. Once you're done your lengthening and you begin the consolidation phase, you can start slowly. I mean, you're still going to have to stretch, but you can start incorporating some strengthening exercises.
Excellent question. Answer, JP. Thanks so much. GGGH is asking Brett, is it safe to say that the surgery will occupy a year of your life and maybe a few months after?
Well, yeah. It's according to what it's going to. It's according to what you mean by occupy. Obviously, you have the surgery, you're doing the lengthening, you're in a wheelchair. And if you've never been in a wheelchair before, that's a different kind of life to live for a few months. And then you work your way up to, crutches and finally walking again, not using a walker. But even at that point, you've got months before you're back to really, doing normal things as far as jogging or those kind of activities. So yeah, I mean, I'll be a year. The end of next month was my first surgery, so I'm 11 months out right now. And I'd say not until the last month or two did I get to where I can actually like sprint and jump and do things again. And it's still definitely not 100% in that. Like when I've been playing basketball the last few weeks, it's almost like if you had ankle weights or something on your legs, like with the rods inside of you still, your legs are going to feel heavy like that. You're not going to be able to have some of the quick bursts and things even a year out, you know. I assume all of that's going to be way better when the rods get taken out. But yeah, hopefully that answers the whole year of how to occupy your life. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought about the rod removal. I think there's something to it. I can't explain it, but when you get that nail out or the nails out, you feel different. You feel more organic, and you can move a little bit better. There's something about it. Your body almost senses like this is not natural. So you get de-cyborged. All right, this question. When is the cyborg nail coming out? Actually, next year. So I'm just kidding. No, me and JP, we talked about that in a message. Unfortunately, we tried, but they just said, why reinvent the wheel? Let NuVasive steal all the money. So, all right. Rudra is asking, Cyborg, can you please tell me how much time does it require to recover and do a normal walk from quadrilateral surgery? Okay, so this is a good question for Brett. Brett, you want to take this one? So you said just now, actually, I mean, he kind of answered it. He said he's just at 11 months, going on 12 now, and he's able to play basketball, sprint. But he did 4 and 4. But if you do more length, it's going to take more time to recover. So it really does depend on your goals. But yeah, so that's kind of good answer, Brett. Did I steal your thunder?
Yeah, that's a good answer. And what I'm worried about, obviously, 4 centimeters is a lot in your tibias.
Yeah.
I'm going back to try to do another 4 in my tibias, and I've had a year and a half of just the 4 and 4 before I go try to get another 4 in my tibias. But anyway, I'm very concerned about how that's going to go. So.
Yeah, well, you have a good surgeon, so I think you'll be okay. But definitely, we'll be rooting for you. JP, if you had the Precice Max, would you have had a better experience?
Who knows? I mean, I had a good experience with the regular Precice, and Precice Max would have probably allowed me to go fully weight bearing sooner. But in the end, it's only a matter of a few months difference. But also because we talked about it earlier, and yeah, I mean, it's a good insurance policy in the sense that you're almost sure you're not going to break the nail or bend it. So it's going to be a less stressful experience. But otherwise, I mean, I think it was fine with Precice. I like the experience. I mean, it will make it better, but also it will be more expensive. So
yeah, that's a trade-off. Yeah, no, definitely, I agree with you there. Yeah, but I think you were just very cautious, so it wasn't too hard for you. But there's patients who are just they've never had a surgery, they're not very patient, and they just want to get it moving. So I think you're right, that insurance policy. So it depends on the patient. The box, can you completely get rid of the scars? Yeah, you can definitely, at least enough with. They fade a lot, but then after you get your nails removed and stuff, you can always get laser scar removal that can help get rid of them.
Yeah, there's also these little patches you can buy to put on your scars.
Yeah, you were saying something about that. I remember last time you were on. Yeah, you'll have to send me an email of what that is, Brett, and I can.
It's just on Amazon. It almost looks like a roll of tape or something, but you can cut them out and put little pieces on your scars, and it's supposed to make your scars go away. It worked pretty well
for you. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Can you tell us when the stride nail substitute will be available? So what I'm hearing is like Q1 of 24. But again, some people are already trying to book for November at their clinics. So it really does. I don't know for a fact, but I just know the fact it's coming out in the next 6 months or so. All right. Last couple questions here, guys, and we're going to wrap it up. I think there's a lot more questions here, but let's see. This is about traveling. So are you able to get through the airport with the internal rods without setting off the metal detector? So anybody travel? I know you guys travel through the airport.
I flew with mine. Whenever I was at Paley's, they give you a special card with that tells you, you have this in you and all of that. So when I was at the airport, I just give them that. And you kind of do a separate way of going through TSA kind of thing.
Gotcha. That's helpful. Yeah. Yeah. I always tell patients, if you're getting it done, ask your surgeon for like a note or some sort of card to kind of give your explanation, because I'm sure they're going to pick it up and they're like, hey, what's this? Especially now with everything going on. You're the man, Victor. Thanks for your words. But yeah, no, definitely, man. I appreciate your support. Anything else, guys? I think we're good. I'm just going to scroll all the way down, make sure I didn't miss any questions. Okay. Just like two more here. So this one's for, okay, so he's asking about athletic abilities after surgery. So Brett is probably the furthest along here, or JP too, because they're both at like the year. So yeah, you guys want to take this one, you two?
Yeah, you can go ahead, JP.
I mean, for athletic abilities, you're gonna have to work hard if you max out your nails, because obviously you're changing your biomechanics, and also your body has to adapt. And as long as you have your nails inside, it's not gonna be a fun experience. It's because you can feel the pin sights when you run, but it's possible, and the improvement is there. You can keep improving, and it's just gonna take a while. And I think. We've had that discussion that before, where we came to the conclusion that like you can probably come back to close to 100% of what you were before, or even better. But that's only if you work hard consistently for a few years.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And then Brett,
I'm waiting, obviously, to be completely done and get the nails out. I assume that's when I'm going to be able to go more back to closer to my higher athletic abilities. But I used to be a very fast runner. I was pretty quick, and I'm not as fast as I used to be, and it's frustrating. But I am practicing sprinting and things like that. I can do it. I have longer strides, but I'm just not as quick as I used to be with my movements right now. And as far as jumping, I am jumping again. But I would say with my new, 3 inches taller, I probably can jump about as high as I used to could at my old height, So I haven't gotten, as in I would hit the same height when I'm jumping, So
yeah.
I assume once I get the rods out, like I said, and I really start trying to push things, that maybe I can get back to where I used to be. But I don't know that I'll ever be 100%, but at least in the 90-something% range is what I'm hoping for. So.
Yeah, and I think my point on this is like when what JP said, and what I always say is like, when I say that you can be better than you were before, you'll never be the same. And because like Brett just said, you're going to have a decrease in your default performance, like what you could possibly have done if you never did limb lengthening, but you would have to train maximally at that standard, right? Like, but after limb lengthening, your determination, your dedication to your training, your rehab and stuff is so much higher that you're most likely going to train harder, and you're naturally going to be at a higher level than you were before surgery. You could be, like JP said, for years training. So I think that's what I have to explain to people. It's like, you'll never be, if I trained you right now before surgery, you would be way better than you would be after surgery, because I would push you to your limits. But you doing it yourself through limb lengthening, you're going to push yourself to a higher limit than you're training right now. If that makes any sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but that's what happened with me. Because like, I guarantee you, I have issues that are holding me back from what I could have been if I was perfect. But I pushed myself to a higher level, and I was able to kind of surpass those. So, all right, let's answer these last two questions, and we're going to call it a day. So this one's for Brett. Okay, 3 questions, because they have a JP question in there. All right, so here we go. Brett, above tempo, you're doing a second surgery. What was your old height, and what's your goal height?
Okay, yeah. So when I originally started last year, just so you know, I did quadrilateral, like Victor said. So I did the tibias and femurs. It was 2 surgeries. First, I did tibias. 3 weeks later, did femurs. I started around about 5'7.5" was my height. Now I'm, around 5'10.5", 5'11". And my goal is to go back and do another 4 and 4, and that's going to put me somewhere around 6'1", 6'2", if all goes well. So that's my final goal that I'm shooting for. So.
That's awesome, and that's what JP's at right now, I think, right, JP?
Yeah.
You're right. That's awesome. All right, so then they're just asking, Brett, has your new height affected your life?
Definitely have noticed differences. So especially, I guess like going out socially, things like that. I definitely can tell. I feel like people, it's really hard to explain, but I think people treat you a little differently. I almost feel like I had to work harder when I was shorter. Like now it's like you kind of get that respect without earning it. It's really weird to explain, but people just treat you differently. It's very very different to explain, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear that a lot too. All right, JP, you're up here. Ben's asking, I heard you were in a documentary Worldwide News with an anchor. How did that interview go? That's what made him a superstar.
I mean, the interview went well. You can watch it on YouTube. W5 Leg Up. That's the name of it.
That's
Leg
right.
Up.
That's right. Leg
And
Up. It was
Victor's
a
also in the
fantastic interview.
documentary. They flew to Baltimore and they met Victor there.
They did. They did, but I couldn't steal JP's thunder. I mean, the guy was a superstar. Oh man. All right, let's see. I think we had the last question. Did I miss one in here? I probably did, but okay. Last question here. Saying how much did he pay with Pele? Sorry if you asked this question. So yeah, you can check out the prices on the website, on his website. I don't want to say that right now, because
he's got the I think it's 5 different options on his site.
Yeah, he has 5 different options.
You can see each one and their price on there.
Right, and they have like how they do them and stuff like that. So definitely check that out for more information. And then this last question kind of is here. So it's about athletes should not get the surgery as it'll affect the PB personal best. I'm guessing that means some ability is lost. Yeah, we kind of mentioned this earlier. For normal gym goers, the decrease in ability is less than if you're like a sprinter or like a sports player, like a soccer player, like Lionel Messi or something like that, because of the fact that you're in a closed chain movement, like your feet are on the ground in the gym, right? Like a lot of time you're doing squats and stuff. So as long as you kind of figure out your biomechanics, you're pretty good in the gym. It's more about like, you're going to notice like what Brett said, you're going to feel heavier legs and stuff like that until you get the nails out. But I think for people who are like moving, like sports athletes, those are the ones who are going to see the bigger impact after the surgery if they do more length. So cool. JP, anything else to add?
No, I mean, congrats on the almost 100 episode, and we're looking forward to
man. Thanks, brother. I mean, you've been here for a significant portion of them. You, Brett. Now we got Fate here, man. I appreciate you guys seriously for joining, for helping out. They said Messi had limb lengthening. I know from a good source. Yeah. And he's doing what he's doing in Miami because of that, right? I doubt that. So, but no, I want to thank everybody on the panel here. We had Ricky B, we had JP, we had Fate, we had Above Tempo, or Brett, we had LS. All you guys, thanks so much for coming on, sharing all your experiences for limb lengthening. Next week, guys, we're going into September, so I'm trying to get some of the European crew coming on. I think Johannes, he has agreed to doing an early interview in early September, so look for him to come on. He's the guy who did a lot of length in his femurs, had to get his IT band, fixed and stuff like that. So that'll be coming up really, really soon. Then we'll be doing a stature lengthening roundtable probably the week after, or maybe discrepancy, and then the week after. Figuring it out, and we'll have some surgeons on. So we got some good stuff coming up, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks for all you guys in the chat. And until next time, this is Victor from Cyborg for Life and all these amazing patients signing out. See you guys next time. Peace.
Yeah.